by FlowCert, and we are not talking about the BSCFA. And we'll show you how GOB and other entities plan to get rid of the Sargassum in San Pedro. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Thursday, May 16th, 2024.
As I look out on the audience, I see many of the artists whose works are represented in this first display. My respect to each of you for contributing to Belize's creative and intellectual inheritance. I also offer my admiration and respect to those artists represented in the museum who have passed on. Their work lives on as sources of inspiration and education. And for the many hundreds of artists who are not in the first show, I say that it is not our intention to develop a culture of exclusion or gatekeeping. Just the opposite. We see this space as one of liberation.
Yo me llamo José Luis Vivas. Yo he sido miembro desde hace 35 años en la Unión de Crédito. Todos mis préstamos que he pedido siempre me lo han dado. Ha sido una ayuda muy grande para mí porque he visto la prosperidad. Entonces ha crecido bastante por medio de la Unión de Crédito que me ha ayudado bastante en la comunidad de los cañeros, porque especialmente lo he visto porque hay muchos cañeros ahí en la Unión de Crédito y es siempre por la ayuda que nos han dado. Yo empecé con 25 toneladas de licencia de caña. Ahorita ya estoy casi, entre yo y mi esposa casi tenemos las 2,000. Desde que estaba el señor Don Canul, yo ya estaba trabajando con la Unión de Crédito y ese viejito me trató muy bien. Me trató muy bien, entonces yo se lo recomiendo a cualquiera para el futuro.
ITSAT STEM Academy is a 4-year government high school that does focus on science, technology, engineering, arts and mathematics, which is called STEAM.
Before this, I've been to other high schools and primary schools, and just being here feels so much more different. But my experience with STEAM in a whole, I love it.
ITSAT STEAM Academy, we are inclusive.
Females in robotics, I think that we could have a lot of success.
This has been the best school life I've ever had. It brings out your creative and innovative side in almost all subjects. In fact, in all subjects.
My experience at ITSAT STEAM Academy is stunning.
Our students will, I hope, tell you that they are happy to be here, because from the moment they set foot in the campus in the morning to the moment they leave, they're engaged in interesting activities which have real meaning to their lives. And by doing this, the learning is much deeper, more effective and long-lasting.
Fast approaching. Pro FC is back in Orange Walk Town on Saturday, June 15th, inside the Orange Walk Multi-Purpose Complex, exclusively on Channel 53 on Centaur.
It's breathtaking. When you see sand here, imagine water. If you dive in, you can't reach the bottom.
You dive in?
Yes, it's called swimming.
I don't believe you.
In the shadows of Arrakis lie many secrets. But the darkest of them all may remain. The end of House Atreides.
Your father didn't believe in revenge.
What if Paul Atreides were still alive?
Have you ever had a dream about your first ride?
Don't try to impress anyone. You're brave, we all know that. Be simple. Be direct. Nothing fancy.
I understand. Nothing fancy.
You will never lose me, Paul Atreides.
We gave them something to hope for.
That's not hope! May thy knife chip and shatter.
I've been a member of St. Francis Xavier Credit Union since it opened its door in 2004, so it's 20 years. It was only yesterday I was talking to my grandchildren about it, two of my grandsons. I was talking to them about the credit union, and it's good because as the past, you have heard they say money doesn't grow on tree, but it does. In your shares, you see the growth of your money there, and you can save. You think about retirement and all the other benefits the credit union offers, what they call the womb to the tomb. So, and the service is very good. I like it.
Good evening with your news, also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. Rafael Dominguez is no longer the general manager of the St. Francis Xavier Credit Union. Dominguez, as per a release issued by the credit union, has been removed from his position as the general manager of SFXCU in accordance with Section 61, 6D of the Credit Union Act, Chapter 314 of the Laws of Belize. Under this part of the Act, the Registrar of Credit Unions, Kareem Michael, directed the administrator of SFXCU to remove Dominguez Sr. as an officer of the credit union. In the release, the institution also advises the members of SFXCU and the general public that Dominguez is no longer authorized to act on behalf of SFXCU. So, what led to Dominguez's termination after months of him being on suspension but still receiving salary? Well, it seems Dominguez knew what was coming his way. Today, when he spoke to us via phone, he told us back in the month of February, he received a letter from the Registrar of Credit Unions requesting that he responded to a number of allegations that were being made against him. Dominguez had until the end of April of this year to respond. Dominguez says he did as was told and wrote back to Kareem Michael responding to those allegations in a 22-page letter. But it seems Dominguez's answers to the accusations weren't enough, and on May 13th, he received a second letter from Michael informing him about his release.
Yo le contesté en un showcast, en un documento de 22 páginas que yo le le firmé al registrador indicando por qué él no me debe de remover de la unión de crédito. Entonces él supuestamente prometió considerar lo que yo le respondiera. Y entonces aquí fue. Y entonces, para mi sorpresa, el 13 de mayo recibo su carta a donde él ya le dio la directiva al administrador presente para que considere removerme de la unión de crédito de mis cargos como gerente general. Entonces, el 15 de mayo, que fue ayer, recibí su carta del administrador Marlon, a donde entonces él, en su capacidad y por directivas del registrador, me manda a decir que mi contrato de empleo ha terminado.
The request has also been made for Dominguez to hand over all properties of the credit union he has in his possession. And while he says he has no problem with that, what is creating an issue is the amount of money being paid out to him after 34 years of being at the institution.
Básicamente son las alegaciones que se ha incluido en la revisión de la corte del caso pasado. Parte de ellos están en ello, por lo cual otras partes no están incluidos en este documento. ¿Okay? Son cosas que hablamos ya desde el pasado, de deficiencias que ha estado viniendo desde hace unos 5 años atrás, cuando estaba el passport, ¿no? Y por lo cual, pues ahora, pues al resultado de todo esto, pues según como gerente general, según yo estoy cargando con todos esos fallos que ellos indican en estas alegaciones.
Cuando se trata del pago que usted recibe ahora, sabemos que su contrato no había terminado, se vencía
el 27.
2027. Entonces, sí. ¿Cómo solucionan ustedes este problema de pago? ¿Recibe usted su pago completo basado en el contrato o parte nada más?
Muy bien, buena pregunta. Entonces, aquí estoy viendo lo que me mandó el administrador, un cálculo acá, no sé si es una equivocación o un oversight, pero supuestamente el pago que me están dando aquí suma una cantidad de $4,293.60, que viene a favor de pagos de vacación, y de ahí pues me descontaron el income tax del gobierno y una cuentita pequeñito que tenía. Entonces me están indicando que 4,293 sería mi pago por mis años que he estado en el credit union. No sé si eso es una confusión, pero sin embargo esa es la carta que he recibido yo.
And while Dominguez has decided to take the legal recourse, he is confident that the membership of the credit union will request for his reinstatement at the next annual general meeting.
Absolutamente que sí, la membresía siempre será la máxima autoridad. Sin embargo, debo de decir que bajo mi contrato, eso fue una cláusula que ha estado viniendo contrato desde cuando estaba el primer gerente general, Vicente Canul. Y nunca había un problema con ese contrato que pues heredé bajo esa cláusula, y el Central Bank ha tenido copias de ese contrato de Vicente Canul, a donde decía que solo la membresía tendrá la autoridad y la decisión de poder darle la directiva al board de despedir o reemplear a un gerente general en un caso que suceda. Debo mencionar yo que cuando nosotros regresamos que hizo mi contrato el 1 de agosto del 2022, esa cláusula estaba ahí. Sin embargo, el registrador, cuando vio mi contrato, le mandó a decir al board de directors, le dio directives, los obligó que quitaran esa sección, esa cláusula de mi contrato, quitándole ese mandato y ese poder a la membresía. Y nosotros, pues, es un directive. Lo hicimos para complacer al gobernador. Ahora, eso ya no está ahí. Pero, como usted dijo, los dueños del credit union, que son la membresía, siempre tendrán que poder tener un voz y un voto a sus asuntos de la unión de crédito. Entonces, yo pienso que la membresía todavía tiene esa autoridad y ese poder de poder traer esto en una junta anual y decir, pues queremos que el señor Domínguez regrese. Es una directiva de los miembros.
A date for the AGM is yet to be announced. Indications tonight is that 2 local cane farmer associations have been suspended by FlowCert, which is the world's leading social auditing and verification bodies and a global certifier for fair trade. The suspended status for the Northern Sugarcane Growers Association and the Corozal Sugarcane Producers Association appears in the official FlowCert website following audits conducted earlier in the year. Now, while the suspended status is confirmed, the reason for that suspension is not listed. Since the updated certification list was released, we have been trying to reach the leadership of both these associations to confirm the reason for their suspension and the steps being taken to ensure that the association can fall under compliance and is recertified. Our attempts, however, have proved futile until news time. Response from the leadership of the Northern Sugarcane Growers Association is that they would need indication from their board to disclose the details of their current certification status. In the case of the Corozal Sugarcane Producers Association, we have gotten a verbal agreement for an interview. However, until news time, that interview has not been made possible. An extremely disturbing report is coming out of Punta Gorda tonight. It has to do with a case of rape involving a student and a teacher. On Monday, May 13, 2024, a woman and her 13-year-old granddaughter visited the Punta Gorda police station and reported that on the 7th and 10th of May this year, a male teacher had sexual relations with her in the school bathroom. Police conducted an investigation, after which they formally arrested and charged a 50-year-old Belizean teacher from Toledo District for 2 counts of rape of a child. And that is not the only case of rape we have to report on tonight. On Wednesday, May 8, 2024, at about 3:30 p.m., a woman and her 15-year-old daughter visited the San Pedro police station and reported that on Friday, May 3, 2024, she went to the apartment of a 33-year-old male person in San Pedro town where he had sexual relations with her against her will. Police have since detained the 33-year-old Belizean manager of San Pedro town as investigations continue. Coming up next, upgrade of water system in Guinea-Grass is causing huge problems. Stay tuned.
Pro SC is here on Saturday, June 15th. Pro SC is back in Orange Walk Town inside the Orange Walk Multi-Purpose Complex. Pro SC 12. Vasquez versus Aguilar. For the main event, we have the 145 pounds professional MMA fight between undefeated Belizean MMA star Frank Mac Vasquez versus Mexico's Ari El Trompito Aguilar. We also have 8 other exciting MMA fights, including Orange Walk's very own 135 pounds champion Jalen Perez, as he takes on the #1 ranked fighter in Central America, Christian Centeno from Nicaragua. in a fight that will determine the #1 bantamweight in the entire Latin America region. It's going to be a night filled with exciting MMA action from start to finish. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. and the event starts at 7:30 p.m. sharp. General admission tickets are available at the Shell One Stop gas station in Orange Walk Town or from any Pro FC fighter. VIP tickets are by WhatsApp reservations only. 670-0716. Pro FC, Belize's premier MMA league.
Do you want quick cash for your gold? Then take advantage of Monica's Pawn Shop's big loans on gold and our guaranteed low rate of only 10% on all pawn jewelry. But it doesn't stop there. We also pawn TVs, buy scrap gold, and pawn vehicles that you can still drive. Visit Monica's Pawn Shop today in our Belize City location at number 128 Cemetery Road, our Belmopan location at number 5 Garden Plaza, our Orange Walk location, number 2 Belize Carazal Road. Give us a call at 207-0970 and get more money for your gold jewelry.
One day, we decided to gather everyone who loves The Last of Us in one place. The naked and afraid fans, and well, everyone who loves realities. The ones who don't like spoilers, and the ones who do. And those who love Barbie and Peppa Pig. That place is called Max. Well, it's not an actual place. It's on your screens, and there's room for everyone. Max is here to bring you more of the stories that you love. Max, the one to watch.
Our legacy isn't how many commas we have in our bank account. It's who we're lucky enough to have in our lives and what we can leave them with.
Henry, remind me again why we can't put you in a gifted school.
Because it's better for my psychosocial development for me to interact with a peer group in a normal school environment.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Susan? I guess I could just set you up with direct deposit if that's easier.
I don't know. I'll have to ask Henry.
You have to ask your 11-year-old?
Did our financial statement come in the mail today?
Yeah, I forgot to give it to you.
I don't know how you do it, all by yourself.
Come on, I have Henry. Find me another male of the species who's more grown up than him.
I'd like to. This story, it's about me, my brother, my mom, and the girl who lived next door.
Henry and Peter, they're lucky to have you.
And your father's lucky to have you too.
Stepfather.
You okay?
I'm good.
Mom, I have to tell you something, and it's very important. Christine is in trouble. When someone hurts someone else, we have to make it better. There's only one way to stop it. I'd hope to do it all myself, but that's not an option.
There has to be another way to help Christina. Why there's no way.
Mr. Sickleman is the police commissioner. I'm not going to subject him to public scrutiny without conclusive evidence.
Okay, let's do this.
Mom, everything you need is right here. I'll be with you the whole time.
I know what you've done. Henry documented all of it.
What do you think they're gonna believe?
It can't be left undone. No matter what, don't panic.
I'm not panicking.
We have to make it better.
To this door.
At St. Francis Xavier Credit Union, I know that I can depend on them, and they have been here for me when I needed it most. There have been several instances where emergencies popped up, and they were here for me, so that is what I like most. The services here, I believe it's very important for the community. It lends a hand to most of the community, or all who want to be part of it, and it caters for all levels in society, especially ones like me who we don't have all the time what we need. So we can depend on the credit union just like the farmers can, teachers can, and the general public.
ongoing concerns from residents from the community of Guinea Grass who have been unable to access potable water for a prolonged period of time. The issue, according to reports which reached our newsroom, is that water has been lacking in many areas across the village for several weeks. With the extreme heat wave currently affecting the country, the lack of water for residents of Guinea Grass is even more exasperating. In an attempt to find what is causing the issue, today our news team contacted the Guinea Grass Water Board. Chairperson of the Water Board, Rajili Magania, says that while the situation has been difficult for residents, the water system in the village is being upgraded and the main reason for the ongoing water problems in the community.
Bueno, pues cuando empezó, tenemos un proyecto ahorita que es el que se está haciendo rehabilitar el water system y pues ya tiene como 2 meses que empezó este proyecto y pues se avisó en el Facebook page que va a haber que va a haber ratos que no va a haber agua porque a veces hay accidentes y se tiene que cerrar el tanque y cosas que siempre pasan, pero ha llegado al punto que ya creo que tiene como un mes que no tienen agua, pero es porque todo lo están haciendo en phases y pues ese del pozo, ese es ahorita que el problema es que los tubos del pozo ya quieren cambiar, ya necesitan cambiar porque están hollados. Es algo que nos pasa cada año, pero ahorita ya se atrasó más con el proyecto, ya se atrasó más y ya tiene exacto un año, mi 2023 se cambió y ahorita ya tiene exacto un año y se debe de cambiar lo más en 7-8 months y ahorita ya tiene un año, sabemos que ese es el problema y pero no, el board no está ahorita encargado de hacer ningún cambio porque ahorita es el contractor que está haciendo todo el trabajo y pues ya nosotros no estamos encargados de ello. Yo solo les estoy diciendo, les doy recommendations a ellos que ya cierta cosa quiere cambiar. Pues ya tenía como un mes que les avisé que ya necesitaba cambiar el tubo del pozo porque ya está hollado. Es algo que nos pasa, como le repito, cada año. Y pero no habían llegado a ese phase todavía. Pues ahorita ya están en ese phase y last week mandaron a pedir los tubos y pero falta una parte, que la parte no se encuentra en Belice todavía. Dijeron que pues ya hicieron conform, Benny dice conform, que se va a recibir la parte mañana en la mañana. Ya mañana se va a cambiar el tubo del pozo para que bote más compresión adentro del tanque, porque el problema es que se está saliendo más agua del tanque de lo que está entrando y se consume, pues cada que se va a chequear arriba, se sube alguien y chequea, nos damos cuenta que hay solo tiene como 5 a 8 pulgadas de agua el tanque, que no tiene suficiente presión para que reempuje agua en todos los tubos de la aldea.
The current water rehabilitation project, according to Magania, will completely upgrade the system and allow the village to enjoy a better service.
Se está haciendo rehabilitation, se está haciendo expansions, se está poniendo meters para controlar el consumo del agua, porque ese es otro problema, que se bota demasiada agua en la aldea y es una forma de controlar el gasto y los meters se pusieron también porque la gente no quiere pagar. Cuando nos hicieron handover a nosotros en 2020 para 2021, el previous administration nos entregó que la aldea le debía al board over $100,000 en bill que no pagan de agua. Nosotros estamos como haciendo really como viéndolo un poco difícil pues para componer ciertas cosas porque el dinero no está entrando. A veces y eso es que nos atrasa, pero ahorita ese no es el problema como está el proyecto. porque ellos tienen el dinero, pero la cosa es que creo que todos entendemos que los proyectos se trabaja by phases, no se viene a trabajar todo de un solo. Eso es lo que está pasando ahorita, pero de que se va a componer, se va a componer.
The issue is expected to be resolved by the end of the week with the new system completely upgraded.
Por ejemplo, nos han recomendado que se cierre cierta área para que otro área que no tiene agua consiga, pero no hay ese control ahorita porque no hay valves en strategic points, pues, para que se cierre un lado y que le vaya el agua al otro lado. No hay ese ahorita. Es todo eso que está haciendo el proyecto ahorita. Todo eso lo está componiendo el proyecto.
Okay.
Para que haya ese control.
Okay, then, okay.
Ajá, porque ahorita solo se abre un solo line y le va todo a la aldea. Por eso es que se cierra el tanque. Vamos a decir que si se rompe un tubo en Felix Street, se tiene que cerrar el tanque porque no hay un valve que solo cierra Felix Street. Entonces tiene que cerrar todo el tanque y eso afecta toda la aldea. Pero ya este proyecto sí está poniendo main valves en ciertos puntos de la aldea para que ya se trabaje mejor, se controle mejor el cierre del agua cuando se necesite cerrar.
The island of San Pedro is grappling with probably one of the biggest problems in its history, one that has been resurfacing for a couple of years now. We are referring to the mass volume of sargassum that makes its way to Belize and its coveted islands, including Ambergris Caye. The sargassum problem is now becoming a compounded one, affecting not only business but also the health of locals and visitors. But the good news tonight is that it is being addressed already. 2 sargassum skimmers, which will be put to immediate work, have come into Belize, shipped out all the way from China. To eliminate the problem, which is instigated by climate change, it will take a collective effort, and that is where the Ministry of Blue Economy, that falls under the stewardship of Minister Andrew Paris, the Ministry of Tourism, and the San Pedro Town Council comes in.
It is not what we have failed or anything. You know, this we have to understand the mindset that this issue with the sargassum has to be a constant battle. We cannot say we're going to sit down and say it's a natural phenomenon. We just have to sit and cross our arms and say we can't do anything until the season passes. We have to find different alternatives that can for mitigation. But let me share with you, and I think I'll be sharing with you later the videos. We have, as of now, we have in country at the port. It has arrived. We have 2 skimmers, or call it skimmers harvesters. We have test run it. They're working very well. And these skimmers are designed to be brought to San Pedro under the auspices of the Olchan Marine Reserve. We did come with a design. We did some traveling and visiting different places, that looking at the machinery that will be in place to fight this. Again, not to win the war. Obviously, we want to win this war, but this is a fight. This is a battle. So we have 2 skimmers. Call it skimmers harvester. That's how I call it. But they are at the port right now. As of now, we are just waiting for the outboard engines to be installed. So these pontoon boats that we are doing, they come with an engine machinery that has a harvester that picks up the sargassum in the water and transport it to a smaller barge to the back. And then the plan is to capture or to harvest the sargassum at sea. In the case of Ambergris Caye and Caye, we have the reef directly in front of us, and there are many breaks in front of the reef. I've said it many times. We have to be smart. We have drones. We have all of these things that we can study from the air. And we are noticing that this sargassum tends to, following with the flow of the waves, they tend to form like a funnel and come through the breaks. It becomes a funnel. When it comes beyond the reef, coming to the shores, it spreads. So we believe that we can capture this sargassum at sea, at the breaks, and then able to go to a collection center or to a bulkhead where we can unload the sargassum. So it's a pilot project. It's a novel idea, but we are going to try it. And I'm certainly we're going to be inviting the media to look at it and see how it works. We are confident it can work. Now, it's 2 of them. We are working on a price because it has been very expensive. We brought it in from China, and already it's working. We're just putting in the installation of the outboard engines. It's important. So we believe that in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be able to showcase it, inviting the media, look at it.
The unpleasant smell of the sargassum as it rots on the shoreline is also a nuisance for locals and tourists. If further action is not taken, the battle could get worse, says Minister Perez.
It's not only affecting tourism, it's actually, more importantly, it's beginning to affect the health for our people. And I'm saying that the smoke this morning was very much visible, and you can smell it early this morning in San Pedro, mainly because of the shift in the winds. So we are getting that smoke from the mainland coming into our islands, and that is what we're sensing this morning. But you're referring to sargassum. By all accounts that we have witnessed, I myself have witnessed. I was up north of Hamburg's Key this past Sunday, my wife and I, and we were able to stop and see and look just beyond the reef, and you can see those huge swaths, mats, I call them the mats of sargassum. But it's not only just sargassum, but it seems to be thick. It's almost, if you look at it, you can perceive that you can probably walk over those.
The sargassum skimmers were bought via the Holchan Marine Reserve and was imported from mainland China at a cost of near $1 million and runs on diesel. The vessels will also be used on Western Hamburg's Key and Key Cocker to collect garbage that builds along the mangroves. Another issue that San Pedranos face at this time is that of mangroves being cleared to fill wetlands near residential areas. Islanders are up in arms since the trucks carrying the landfill work 24/7. The noise has become unbearable, especially during the night time when residents are trying to rest. The issue has forced a group of residents to send a petition to the minister responsible for sustainable development for intervention. When asked to comment on the situation, Minister Andrew Perez, who represents the area, told reporters the problem arises now after persons secured land documents in the previous Barrow administration.
It's a legitimate concern. We as leaders have to dance that fine balance, like a trapeze. You know, you're dancing on a trapeze where that's what we're doing. In finding that as this storm is growing, we cannot be a government that is going to stall any kind of development. But then the other side of the coin is that we have to be very mindful as it relates to the charm, as it relates to what is the reason why people come to San Pedro or Kikaker. Now we're talking about the municipality of San Pedro with the traffic. Indeed, the traffic is a problem right now. So we have to come up with a definitive agreement. Not the agreement, we have to come up with something definitive that is going to happen. Certainly, we're looking at, we always talk about moratoriums, but I think that we have to go beyond that. And we're discussing that, as a matter of fact, the mayor and I met today, that we have to meet more to deal with the traffic problem. As it relates to the wetlands, most of this land, even its wetlands, mangroves, when we came in to government in 2020, November 20, I quickly discovered that all of those lands are long gone. They are private lands. So any development that is happening right now is lands legitimate that people have title to it. So how do you stop and say you cannot do development? Now, to say that we are stopping people to do the mangroves and everything, these people have their rights to develop the lands that they have gotten. Mangroves, literally places that mangroves are given off to people that shouldn't have. It has happened in the last government. This is what we're inheriting. So now they are coming to us that we are not doing any kind of work with it. Now, there are rules and regulations. We have the Department of Environment, we have NIAC, we have all of these places that have to get the clearings for these things. This is where we are. But I can tell you right now, there are many places right now we are very much concerned about the mangroves. And the other thing that is important is that we have secured, and the Ministry of the Department of Environment is coming in to set up a permanent office and permanent presence here in the office is going to be opening very soon. That is going to be a plus for us. So that is something there that, and we have expressed as well to the ministry, to that ministry, is that they will be working in collaboration with Holchan Marine Reserve that has the vessels to go and do all of these patrols. That is what is happening. One of the things that is lacking here is enforcement. So with the formation and very soon of the Department of Environment and Forestry, it will be able to cater for the attention for Hamburg's Key and Key Cocker. So that's a big plus for us here.
The International Monetary Fund (IMF) Executive Board on Wednesday outlined key policy objectives for Belize, emphasizing the need to reduce public debt to 50% of gross domestic product (GDP) by 2030 and increase spending on infrastructure, social programs, and crime prevention. The IMF said achieving the debt reduction target would require fiscal consolidation measures to raise the primary balance to 2% of GDP from 2025 onwards. This would involve broadening the tax base, raising excise taxes, and reforming the public pension system. The additional revenue generated from these measures would allow for increased priority spending on infrastructure, social programs, and crime prevention, thereby boosting growth and resilience to natural disasters. The IMF also stressed the importance of structural reforms to improve the business climate and develop a disaster resilience strategy (DRS). These reforms include easing access to credit for small and medium-sized enterprises (SMEs), advancing the digitalization of land and business registries, and improving the overall business and government services environment. The IMF also recommended that Belize limit central bank financing of the government, strengthen the anti-money laundering, countering the financing of terrorism framework, and closely monitor financial stability risks. These policies, the IMF said, would help Belize achieve sustainable growth, reduce its vulnerability to economic and environmental shocks, and strengthen its financial system. And there is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
At STEAM Academy is a four-year government high school that does focus on science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, which is called STEAM.
Before this, I've been to other high schools and primary schools, and just being here feels so much more different. But my experience with STEAM in a whole, I love it.
It's at STEAM Academy, we are inclusive.
Females in robotics, I think that we could have a lot of success.
This has been the best experience school life I've ever had. It brings out your creative and innovative side in almost all subjects. In fact, in all subjects.
My experience at STEAM Academy is stunning.
Our students will, I hope, tell you that they are happy to be here, because from the moment they set foot in the campus in the morning to the moment they leave, they're engaged in interesting activities which have real meaning to their lives. And by doing this, the learning is much deeper, more effective, and long-lasting.
It's another Mr. Fall promotion at Guinea Grass Village Council presents Buffalo. It's all happening on Saturday, May 18th at the New River Park, Guinea Grass Village. Everybody come, let's Buffalo. Live performance by the General himself, Super G. The General performing live. May 18th, New River Park, Guinea Grass Village. Music juggling by DJ Dickus and DJ Virgo. Get your ticket, pre-sale. Tickets $20 and hear more at the door. And we not done yet, you better come Guinea Grass Village, because you can't afford to miss this big Punta Rock competition and lots of giveaways. Mr. Fall Promotion and Guinea Grass Village Council, Buffalo. Sponsored by Express Plus Streaming Entertainment, Rum of Billy's trademark, Mr. Fall Promotion and Rum Berry.
One day, we decided to gather everyone who loves The Last of Us in one place. The naked and afraid fans, and well, everyone who loves realities. The ones who don't like spoilers, and the ones who do. And those who love Barbie and Peppa Pig. That place is called Max. Well, it's not an actual place. It's on your screens, and there's room for everyone. Max is here to bring you more of the stories that you love. Max, the one to watch.
Soy Isar Pérez, dueño del Boss, manejo para el colegio St. Viators y soy miembro del Credit Union, St. Francis Xavier Credit Union, hace 20 años. Pues el Credit Union me ha ayudado a mí financieramente para comprar mi autobús. Gracias a ellos tengo un ingreso para mi familia. Ellos nunca me cerraron la puerta cuando lo necesité y gracias a ellos pues estoy con mi negocio. Al interactuar con ellos en el personal allá en el office, me dan la bienvenida bien y siempre me han tratado de lo mejor. El Credit Union es bueno especialmente para los negocios que están empezando. Es bueno, es recomendable. Les invito al Credit Union.
The People's United Party PUP has officially announced that applications are open for those wishing to represent the party as standard bearer in the next general elections. Since then, many contenders for numerous divisions across the country have expressed their interest in running for the general elections. Mayor Wally Nunes had publicly expressed his interest in the Belize Rural South seat. However, a leaked message indicated that the PUP's national executive has decided that recently elected mayors will not be allowed to contest as standard bearers. The national executive has decided that none of our recently elected mayors will be able to participate in any contested convention for standard bearer. Any of our mayors will only be able to participate in an endorsement convention. If there are other applicants in any of the constituencies where you apply, you will be immediately disapproved. Kindly take note, the message said. Following that decision, Wally addressed his supporters, saying that he respected the party's decision and will continue to lead and walk with his constituents. Guided by the voice of the people, I decided to continue leading them as their area representative. I have now been made to understand that this will not be possible. I respect the decision of our party and hold dear the mandate given to me by the people. I, Wally Nunes, will continue to work and walk with the people of Belize Rural South. I will continue to serve the people. I will continue to lead them forward. Adelante, Nunes expressed. So that is it for Nunes, at least for now. But what about sitting Minister Andrew Paris? Yesterday, he told the media he will deliver another win for the party come general elections.
I never lost any sleep over it. I mostly focus myself on my work, the job that I do. 11,000 constituents, Key Cochran and San Pedro. Look, I have a relationship whereby I'm a person who extend the work with anyone who is involved, whether it's the town council, the village council. I am one of those persons that understand that to achieve goals you yourself alone cannot achieve. It must be a concerted effort with all parties involved, not only the municipalities and village councils, all the NGOs, all the different active groups, Lions, Rotary, all these people. It is shown time and again, especially on a Burger ski, that things can be accomplished when we unite, even if we cross the political lines. I will tell you an example. I can tell you whereby I believe it was around 2006 or 2007. It was the former mayor, El Zapaz, came to me and asking for assistance. By the time I was leading the People's United Party in terms of our group campaigning, and it was the UDP in Town Council back in 2007. They needed some funds to pave the front street. And we worked together, the mayor and the council, myself as representing the government of the day at the time as a politically appointed person. We worked and we were able to secure, I believe it was $2 million to pave those streets. But at that time, we were not looking at, I don't want to work with the mayor because she's a UDP. I looked at it and this is a aim to work for the betterment of this community. And that is how I see it. And that has been the hallmark of my character, not only being here as in government, but to work with each and every one that is there in government to work with, whether it's any municipality. And that is my work, that's what we do. So it's not about challenges or so. If when the time comes, if there should be, I'm ready for it. The work has been done and I'm comfortable, and the will of the people that I engage with every day, I'm comfortable.
During this week's cabinet meeting on Tuesday, Prime Minister John Briceño gave a report of his recent meeting with Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador in Cancún, Mexico, which focused on several priority areas including energy, agriculture, and transportation. According to a release from Cabinet, the meeting involved discussions with senior officials of CFE with a view of maintaining an increased and consistent supply of electricity of up to 80 megawatts to support Belize's rapidly increasing energy demand. As it relates to agriculture, as we reported earlier this week, talks involved fostering the continued export of cattle and the proposed export of sugar and shrimp into Mexico. On transportation, discussions centered around the next steps towards constructing a train station at or near the border between Belize and Mexico as part of Tren Maya, which would make it easier for tourists and goods to be transported between Belize and Mexico and beyond. The Prime Minister also informed the Mexican President that shortly, Belize will exempt the border fees for Mexicans who wish to enter Belize. On other matters, Cabinet welcomed an update from Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Francis Fonseca, on the completion of the second round of negotiations between Belize and the Republic of El Salvador for a partial scope agreement which will enhance market access for key export commodities into El Salvador. Cabinet also gave its approval for amendments to be introduced in the National Assembly to amend the National Institute of Culture and History Act to strengthen its legislative power to protect and preserve Belize's cultural resources and establish reserves. Approval was also given for the Ministry of the Public Service to invite high school students in 3rd and 4th farms and junior college students to apply for the 2024 Summer Intern Program, which will run from June 17, 2024 to July 11, 2024, and from July 12, 2024 to August 11, 2024. Amendments were also approved in the Designated Processing Areas DPA Act, which will help to improve the turnaround time for the Ministry of Investment to expedite the Investment Incentives Program and to continue assisting the main growth sectors in the DPA program. As Belizeans currently contend with a prolonged heat wave, Cabinet also issued a reminder for all Belizeans, especially the elderly, to remain hydrated. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Friday, May 16th here on Ctv3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at Ctv3 News BZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at Ctv3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.